What's up, guys? You know, final rosters came out yesterday for most teams. Maybe if not all, most at least. And wasn't feeling good today. Didn't plan on making a video, but I did in the last 30, 40 minutes or so get a little bit of, you know, a little bit of it back. And so I'm not gonna do this for every team. I'm just gonna do it for my Seahawks. Talk about where we are and who we've cut and what it's looking like. So offense, we keeping two QBs. I mean, it was pretty much expected. Howell and Gino. Those were the two that I thought we were gonna keep. PJ Walker doesn't make it, and he didn't play very good in the preseason. Running backs, three. I could have seen them keeping George Halani, but they don't. They keep the three from last year. Receivers, we all knew Metcalf, Lockett, Bobo, and Smith and Jigba were going to be there throughout the preseason. Laviska Shenault made it pretty clear that he was going to be there. And that left one spot left for D. Eskridge, D. Williams, Aesop Winston, and Derek Young. And they go with Derek Young. Sure, a lot of Seahawks fans are confused about that. He didn't see a ton of preseason action. I saw a lot of D. Eskridge support after the punt return that he had, including from me. I wouldn't have been mad if we kept him. Also, Cody White was an option, but kind of lesser than the four. D. Williams, as you see, did make it, but not as a receiver, as a corner. He took snaps at corner, snaps at receiver, and snaps at return, man. So he's kind of just anywhere you put him type of guy. Did you go with Derek Young over D. Eskridge and Aesop Winston? I came across someone. I had a chat with someone who was, for some reason, a really big Aesop Winston fan. I don't know if they grew up together, they know him, but I can't see any other reason why someone would be such a huge Aesop Winston fan. I tweeted something like, Aesop Winston's probably not making the roster, but I expect him to see him in the preseason again next year, because his little kind of joke he was in the preseason this year, preseason year before. He's kind of a guy that you see he's like a preseason player for the team, kind of like Kenny Lawler was a couple years ago. Kenny Lawler never played a single snap for the Seahawks in the regular season, but he did play multiple preseason games and had very good preseason performances a couple times, and he just never made the final roster. Derek Young is a very good special teams player. That's probably why they kept him. He's also big. He's big. He's like 6'3" ish. As a matter of fact, he's 6'2", 220, 2 career receptions. He did have a touchdown once, but it got called back. It was his rookie year. He had a touchdown that got called back. I remember. Let me see if I can remember who it was against. Let's take a look at the schedule. I think it might have been the 49ers, or maybe the Falcons. One of these two. I feel like it was against a red team, possibly the Cardinals. I don't think it was the Buccaneers. I don't think it was the Chiefs. But, I hope he gets a touchdown at some point. It'd be a fun little time. Tight ends, keep 4. Which, AJ Barnett and Farrell Brown are both blocking tight ends. Noah Fant is more of a receiver, and he's pretty good. Brady Russell had a very good preseason. Packers, he had some fun vibes going on with him. So I'm not mad that he made it. Offensive line, you keep Oluwatimi, Connor Williams, Jalen Sundell is like the only name on here that I don't know who that is. I'm looking and I recognize every other name. I've heard it before. Yeah, Jake Sundell is a name that I am not familiar with. Jalen, my tweet. Jalen Sundell from North Dakota State. He made the final roster. So good for him. Bradford makes it. What I don't. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure what Anthony Bradford does a lot of the time. Every time I see him, he's like not blocking anyone, and he's just like standing on the field. Saito Lume, late round pick. I forgot Christian Hayes. Christian Hayes, third round pick, has looked very good so far. Laken Tomlinson has looked very bad so far. Jeffrey Simmons tossed him, and Titans fans would not let it go. Charles Cross, looking for a breakout from him this year. George Fant, who is going to hold it down until where is he on like an injury reserve? They didn't. I don't know why they'd cut Abe Lucas. They didn't cut Abe Lucas, so it's probably on the physically unable. I'm pretty sure he's on the physically unable to perform. So George Fant is holding it down for Abe Lucas while he's gone. Stone Forsythe isn't very good, but he's on the team. And Mike Jarrell, 7th round pick out of Findlay. He is a beast, dude. He is so strong. It's quite scary how strong Mike Jarrell is. Linebackers, I got a few here, but some of these are outside linebackers. Jerome Baker, picked him up, and similar to Tyrell Dotson, picked them both up for agency. They're both solid, and neither of them are like stars or Pro Bowl level, but they're both solid. Travis Gibson just traded for. He's an edge rusher. Kind of insurance for Uchenna Nwosu, who's going to miss a couple games, and for Darrell Taylor, who they traded away. I was upset when they traded him away because I feel like I'm the only Darrell Taylor fan in the Seahawks fan base, but I did like Darrell Taylor and his ability to rush the passer. He cannot defend the run or set the edge, but my God, he could rush the passer. That he had a game against the Jets 2 years ago, and he had like 2 or 3 sacks. And I always love playing the Jets because one of my friends, probably the friend that I talk football with the most, is a Jets fan, and I do give him a lot of shit for it. So this time we played the Jets, and he had 2.5 sacks, a forced fumble, 3 QB hits. He was playing out of his mind in this game. Darrell Taylor would have the occasional incredible performance, and I just, I mess with him. And he also had like the pink hair that looked really good, and just with the jerseys. Let's see. Yeah, look, this looked so good. The pink hair with the throwbacks. It was nice. I hope that he does well in Chicago. Derek Hall didn't do much his rookie season, but he has had an insane preseason. Like, also with him, same thing with Michael Jarrell. He is incredibly strong. He bitched Joe Alt. And he had Joe Alt doing the splits. It was crazy. Draymond Jones picked him up last year. He paid him more money than it seems he was worth because he didn't play great last year. But hoping that he can get back on track. Tyrese Knight, mid-round pick, like fourth or fifth round, I'm pretty sure. He looks to be a tackling machine. He is just filling gaps all over the field, making tackles. It's really great stuff. Boyan Mafe, one of my favorite players on the team. He has I saw the defensive end stats, and he was ranked the lowest of right. Yeah, his variety was 0.0, and I do agree. He does use the same fake outside stutter, or stutter outside, quick inside. Like every time I watch him, that's kind of his go-to, and it works a lot of time. He got 9 sacks last year off of that move. So I mean, he's pretty good at that move. I'd like him to develop a second and third, and hopefully Mike McDonald can do that. Or maybe he does. He doesn't even need to do that to play in Mike McDonald's system, because just the variety of looks and packages they have will make it easier for him to just use that one move that he is great at. Shannon Nwosu. Wyatt Teller should be suspended, expelled, tried on a jury, he should go to trial. He's exiled. I don't ever want to see him on an NFL field again. Wyatt Teller chop blocked Uchenna Nwosu in a preseason game and hurt him again. Uchenna Nwosu missed most of last season, 10 or 11 games last season with an injury. And Wyatt Teller's just going to chop block him. And it was very scary for a couple days. We were thinking it could be MCL. Thankfully, it wasn't. Well, it was, but not as bad as it could have been. And he's only going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. But in regular season games, that's 3 or 4 games. Which, when you look at our schedule, I'm not happy he's hurt, but we're not going to need him to beat the Broncos or the Patriots. Drake Thomas, I know the name. I'm not totally familiar with him. Oh, I think he was on the practice squad last year, and we picked him up. Yeah, he did play last year. I think I have a tweet about Drake Thomas, because I saw him on the field once, and I was like, who is that? Yeah, okay. I tweeted about him on March 12th. I said, Devin Bush, Drake Thomas, in quotations, legit no clue who this is, comma, and John Radigan are the only rostered inside linebackers. And Drake Bell's still rostered. I still don't know who he is. But my bad, Drake Thomas. Few tackles last year. That was better than I've ever done. Miles Adams, kind of a regular on these 53-man rosters. He's been a while. He's been around for a little bit. This is fourth year. Undrafted out of Rice. Got a sack last year. That's good. Was he the player that broke his neck in a scrimmage? Who was that? I don't know. Darrell Taylor broke his neck against the Steelers. Brandon Jackson. Yes. How's he doing? He retired because of the injury. He might have. Yeah, I think career was career ending. That's a shame. Did he ever like? Did he ever like play? Did he ever like get on the field? I hope he played 4 years. Yeah, he played many games. Good for him. I wouldn't want him to retire without getting a shot in the actual game. Mike Morris, who has previous knowledge of the Mike McDonald scheme when he played under him at Michigan. So I do expect him to get more playtime this year just because he knows the scheme probably better than everyone else on the team so far. Leonard Williams re-signed him, brought him back. Big Cat. He's good. He's really good. Hankins, depth piece. Byron Murphy, first round pick. He's going to be a star. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Jerron Reed. I thought his career was pretty much done. I thought, after he left Seattle the first time, started out his career in Seattle pretty good. And then after he left Seattle, to be real with you, I thought his career was over. Goes to Kansas City, Green Bay, both, not great years. Comes back to Seattle, and he had a very good season last year. Could have been a Pro Bowler, in my opinion. He was very good. Probably one of the more underrated players in the league. Probably one of the more underrated defensive tackles, maybe of all time, dare I say. Kobe Bryant got an interception. Some people were talking about how he could get cut. He's not the best cover guy. But honestly, the one thing that Kobe Bryant does better than everybody on the team is force fumbles. I mean, he goes for the ball more than anyone. His rookie year, he forced like 4 or 5 of them. He forced 4 his rookie year, 1 last year, and 1 in the preseason. At least one that I saw. He might have did more in the other games. I only watched the Browns game. And he forced a fumble in that one. So he punches the ball. He's really good at that. Julian Love, really overrated by everyone else in the NFL. He had that one game against the Eagles that really people were like, oh my god, this guy's a Pro Bowler and he's top 100. And who knows? He might be the best in the league. I'm going to be honest with you, he's not top 100. He's not Pro Bowl caliber. He's fine. He's a fine safety. But probably better than Quandre was last year. But he's not like a top end safety. If I would have preferred to have Justin Simmons, who was a free agent, over him. Xavier McKinney. I'm just Javon Holland. I mean, obviously Javon Holland, he's one of the best in the league. You get the point. He's like slightly above average. I'm not like complaining about him being back there. He's not like a liability, but he's not as good as the average fan would tell you. Rayshawn Jenkins and Kevon Wallace. Really excited for both of them. They both look pretty solid in the preseason, and yeah, I hope they're good because they look pretty good. Trey Brown, Witherspoon, Woolen. Everyone knew those three were gonna make it. We're talking about who's getting the other one. DJ James, Nehemiah Pritchett, two rookies out of Auburn. Nehemiah Pritchett makes it. DJ James does not. DJ James had a rough first two games, but he played a very nice third game of the preseason, final game. We talked about D. Williams. Michael Dixon, maybe the greatest punter I've ever seen. I mean, this guy just boots it every time. He had the double punt a couple years ago that a lot of people forgot about, but that was an awesome play. Jason Myers, who will miss an extra point and then nail it from 55 yards deep. I don't know why. He's just having fun out there. But Evan Hill on Twitter is probably the biggest Jason Myers supporter there is. He will defend him with his life. Even after he misses an extra point or an easy field goal. And long snapper Chris Stoll, been on the league for, what's this, his third year on Seattle? Maybe his second. He hasn't been here second. It's his second year as a long snapper after Tyler Ott was the long snapper for about as long as I can remember. Yeah, he was here for a while. But Crystal is carrying that torch. Going on a waived, and there's 16 practice squad spots. I'm gonna throw out some players who I think should make it. Michael Barrett probably makes it. I mean, they traded for him. Lance Boykin, Nelson Caesar both probably make it. Eskridge. I mean, he probably gets picked up by another team, but a lot of these guys probably get picked up by other teams. But let's say they don't. Eskridge should. Holani should. DJ James should. Patrick O'Connell should. He was playing with a lot of heart, and he made me a fan. John Radigan should, but he did just get picked up by the Panthers a couple hours ago. Same with Jamie Sheriff, who I very upset he got picked up by the Panthers. He's gonna be good. Aesop Winston, Cody White probably both make it. They've been on the practice squad for a couple years now. That's not 16, but that's just a couple that I think should. Terminated vested veteran. I had to look up what this means, and pretty much it means they go straight to free agency and there's no waivers. PJ Walker probably gets a job somewhere as, a third string. Maybe New York. Maybe the Jets. Blake Lynch, I don't know who that is. Artie Burns, he probably would have made the team if he didn't get hurt, but it's really unfortunate. Marquise Blair, who we brought back after he was gone for a couple years, and gave it a shot, didn't work out. Hope the best for all these guys. Hope they can all carve out a role somewhere. I know Jamie Sheriff is. He's going to be very good. So wherever he goes, the Panthers. Did they sign him to the practice squad or just the active roster? Okay, a couple people were signed. Aesop Winston, Halani, and Devere Livingston are on the practice squad. So that's cool. Holani could make it like 1 year. If God forbid one of our running backs gets hurt, Holani will get. I expect him to be called up. We have had a history of running back injuries. Not really with any of these three. Kenny McIntosh did miss all of last year, but that he wasn't a Seahawk when he got hurt. He was a Georgia Bulldog, so it doesn't count. Charbonnet was healthy. Ken Walker might have missed a couple games, but I can't recall him missing any chunk of time off the top of it. Yeah, he's missed 2 games each of the last 2 years. So this is a good team. We're gonna be good. And yes, I am on the team. I'm actually the backup long snapper. But I'm not on the 53-man roster. If they need someone, they'll give me a call if Chris Stoll gets hurt. That's just kind of the deal we have. Yeah, that's about it for this one, guys. See ya.